suggesting he's just not convinced that the running back room looks now like it will when the season begins. And that's compelling because they're kind of loaded up there in terms of the roster, right? You've got Robinson, a veteran under contract. Eckler, who they've paid, their pass catcher, their third down guy under contract. You've got McNichols, who's kind of the Eckler understudy, who also spelled Robinson last year, maybe as a third back. Chris Rodriguez, yet another veteran on the roster who was very good when he got opportunity.
When he gets a chance, he runs hard. I mean, was it the Atlanta game? There was a play where no one was doing anything on the ground, and there was like a 4th and 5 or some kind of whatever it was, heat of the moment, a pitch where he made 6 guys miss, ran in for a touchdown. You're going, that earned him more opportunities to not dress for a handful of weeks.
He was kind of a better version of Robinson in that role in terms of the big, powerful thumper back. But Robinson obviously got a lot more carries and work. And then you drafted a running back in the 7th round in Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who, if he makes the roster, I think he could be ticketed for the practice squad. It would mean that McNichols doesn't or Rodriguez doesn't or maybe both don't. But that's 5 guys that I just named for you. Robinson, Eckler, McNichols, Rodriguez, and Krosky-Merritt. So one of them's a draft pick. Doesn't have to make it, clearly. Late round pick. Everyone else has kind of been handpicked by this regime in a sense. I mean, Robinson was drafted before they got here. He's not their guy. Eckler was signed by them. McNichols was signed by them. Rodriguez was drafted before them. But they could have cut Rodriguez last year and didn't. They kept him around. They could have, at some point, moved on from Robinson this offseason. They chose not to. So they have, in varying degrees, chosen to do business with all of the players on this depth chart. But you heard Standig. It came up because he was asked, is there a John Dotson surprise player that gets traded or isn't with the team? And he kind of thought about that. I didn't take that to mean he thinks B-Rob's getting dealt as much as he said it could go the other way, where maybe they still bring in someone who makes somebody else on the team currently expendable. And that brings me to this ESPN piece today. So ESPN.com wrote a story. It was Matt Bowen, our buddy, the former safety here in D.C., and this came out this morning. Best NFL team fits for the remaining best free agents. Also trade candidates. JK Dobbins, the free agent running back, linked to best team fit, the Washington Commanders. And here's what Bowen wrote. Finding an ideal fit for a veteran running back is not easy at this point of the offseason, especially for a player with Dobbins' rich injury history. He missed 4 games with an MCL sprain last season, yet he still managed a career high in rushing yards, 905, and tied a career high in rushing touchdowns, 9. In Cliff Kingsbury's offense in D.C., I could see Dobbins providing competition for Brian Robinson as the early down runner. Dobbins can run between the tackles and has the juice to create big plays on the ground. He took 27 carries for 10 or more yards last season. So let's just start with the premise. Do you agree that there's a good chance, Danny, that the 5 running backs that we've been talking about here are not all going to be on the roster come training camp, or that maybe somebody gets cut because they bring in a veteran that supplants them?
Yeah, it's larger than 0, less than 100. So I know that doesn't narrow it down terribly far, but I think that's likely. I mean, they're always going to improve on the fringes. I mean, to me, the thing that I've learned about this regime, and again, we've got a sample of 1 year plus, this one free agency period in a draft, where I'm doing the LeBron James gif when I'm pointing. Look at the hole. Look at the problem. Look at the weakness. They usually don't see it the same way. Whether they either plan on working around it, whether they don't think it's a big deal, whether they think their guys are better than we think, whatever, they have been successful. Last year going into the season, I'm going, I cannot believe this is the O-line. I can't believe this is the receiver core for a rookie quarterback. Offense was awesome. Daniels was great. Everything worked out. Ta-da. Going into this season, I'm going, I can't believe this is the edge group. I can't believe this is the running back room. Wouldn't they want something different? And I think they maybe see it differently than I do. And again, they're usually right. I'm usually just pudgy and stupid. So I think there's a better chance than not that me going, I have no interest in this running back room, really, except for Austin Eckler, who's a bad hit away from not being able to play much anymore. That's the style that I want. They only have one of those guys. Everyone else is Brian Robinson or Brian Robinson light. I think they like that better than I do. So I think there's a better chance maybe than not of them going in with that kind of group, and whether Rodriguez gets swapped out or Michael Wiley gets swapped out or somebody else for a veteran on the edges. I don't know that they're going to go dip into the pool.
How old do you think Brian Robinson is?
26.
How old do you think JK Dobbins is?
He's only been in the league 4 years, 26.
They're the same age.
Yeah.
I think that would surprise a lot of people. Now, Dobbins got to the league quicker, to your point. He missed the 2021 season. He's actually been in the league for 5 years. He's the same age as Brian Robinson.
There you go.
Robinson's been in the league for 3 years. That's why I bring that up. One of those guys made the leap quicker and was just younger when he got to the NFL. So despite 2 more seasons in the National Football League, they're the exact same age. Dobbins' injury history is just a disaster, though. One of those injuries, I think the preseason 21, was here in Landover. It was actually at then FedEx, where he tore his ACL.
His ACL, that's right.
First of a couple of times. But remember, as a rookie in 2020, he averaged 6 yards per carry as like the number 2 back for Baltimore on early downs as a 22-year-old. He was awesome. But he only played, he played in 15 games. The next year, he missed the entire season. The year after that, he missed half of the season. He averaged 5.7 a pop. 2023, he played in 1 game. That was it. Got hurt again. And then last year was the most durable he's been since his rookie year, and he averaged 4.6 per carry. Brian Robinson has never done that.
Right.
Brian Robinson in his career, he's gotten better every year to his credit, but he's averaged 3.9, 4.1, and 4.3. Dobbins, in his 3 seasons where he's had multiple games, 15, 8, and 13 games, he has averaged 6, 5.7, and 4.6.
I mean, he was incredible last year in LA.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
But how much of that is like they live the lifestyle of running the football? Right. That's Jim Harbaugh to the third power, right? I mean, they're a different breed. When Harbaugh shows up and preaches running the football every single day, then Kingsbury was kind of running it to set things up and to get back to what he wants to be doing in the horizontal raid. But still, if you're asking me Dobbins or Robinson, and you guaranteed me health for both players, if they both played 16 games this year, who would I rather have tote the mail and you're giving him the exact same carries? I'd rather have JK Dobbins.
No question for me.
But there is no such thing as the guaranteed health. And so I'm not going to supplant 26-year-old Robinson for another 26-year-old who's got a way worse injury history.
I think that's very well said. I love the idea of Dobbins. And if it doesn't cost too much, then we could talk about that. But what scares me...
Would you bring in Dobbins to compete with Robinson, to be with Eckler on that depth chart? Merritt's probably then on the practice squad if it means Rodriguez is out and maybe McNichols is out.
I would do that. I mean, but the thing that I cannot do is go, I don't know how to say this in a better way, so maybe you could try to pull it out of me, where I would go, okay, my problem is solved, or the position is done. I can't say I will now book JK Dobbins for 200 touches. Like, I'd love for that to happen, but come on, man. We've all seen, you've seen the injury history. You know what the game's like. So it means if it starts to be a bidding war, someone else is going to have to deal with the injured reserve, or someone else is going to have to deal with that. To me, if it's cheap, then he'll help you when he can play.
So I could be wrong. I think we're past bidding war territory. It's May 19th.
Mm-hmm.
There's no bidding war.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not a guy that teams are lining up to try to give carries to based on his injury history. Now, he may do the Kirk Cousins thing where Kirk right now is sitting around and going, I'll wait till somebody gets hurt before I start really examining and
I just had a monster deal, yeah.
Trade or whatever. Like maybe JK Dobbins is going, it's about fit for me. And maybe he has turned down a couple opportunities and he's looking for the right money. I guess that's possible. I don't know. But my guess is when the phone rings, he's signing somewhere. If they can guarantee him an opportunity to compete. And here, with Jaden Daniels and read option and the running game possibilities therein, I'd imagine this would be an intriguing landing spot. I think, how do I want to say this? If Dobbins was not an injury concern, it's the most obvious upgrade ever, in my opinion.
Yep.
Because we've seen the B-Rob thing for 3 seasons now. We know what it looks like. And I'm not anti-Brian Robinson. I think Brian Robinson is a good player, but what you see is what you get. It's going to be about 4 yards per carry. He's not going to get yards that aren't kind of created for him, and he is not going to homer or triple. It's singles and the occasional, very rare, perfectly blocked double. But it's mostly singles. It's 10, 12, 14, 16 yards are your explosives. Whereas Dobbins, with the way he runs, especially after the injury, those little Mighty Mouse legs, I mean, he actually is hitting 30 and 40 from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, to me, Robinson, everything you said, I echo, but I also think there are probably times where there was something there, where it just, if you just cut back, or if you just saw it. It's easy for me to say on my couch with my feet up, very comfortable, but it just felt like watching him. There are times where you go, dude, it's right there. Oh, and then it's gone.
Where are your feet?
My feet is up.
Okay.
So are his after getting smashed. Oh, thank you. But basically, he's sitting there or it feels like whether it's a vision question, whether it's an agility question. Again, I like Brian Robinson. He would be on my team. That's a good dude. I want him to play for Smash Mouth times. I'm just not doing the Brian Robinson, everybody. Like that New Orleans game that we were at where they just kept ramming him into the line of scrimmage, hoping that something would be different. I just don't play. I just don't do that. I can't.
Now, Commanders Twitter has worked themselves into a frenzy about Brian Robinson, okay? Because he did say the 4 words that every player says on social media when they feel like they're being talked badly about by the fan base. Keep that same energy. And then he attacked a 100 emoji on it. This was just on Friday, as a matter of fact.
Friday?
While he was in the weight room, I guess.
Oh.
Keep that same energy, 100 emoji.
You got it.
I don't know if that means he was keeping it a buck or if that means, like, what, Darius, if you don't mind, what does the 100 emoji mean at the end of keep that same energy?
It's like it's basically a way to stamp I guess the way to put it is stand on business.
It's like,
now, wait, now what does that mean?
Another way.
What does that mean?
You don't like stand on business?
No. Try something else.
Just get that right.
Okay.
He said, keep that same energy, 100 emoji, which is that like saying
100% of the time?
No, it's not. Definitely not that.
No?
I think he's saying keep that same energy, 100, meaning I see you guys. I know what you're up to.
Then why wouldn't you use the eyes emoji to say
true.
there's a visual?
Yeah. This is why I think stand on business kind of is where we're going.
I didn't hear what you said. What'd you just say?
Stand on business?
No, you're not saying anything. The phone's cutting out. Why?
So I'm saying stand.
I'm throwing up everywhere. Can you get someone to come clean up this table? There's vomit all over the place. Ryan, you're a young person. Why is he putting the 100 emoji after he says keep that same energy? I can only imagine it means he's going to average 4.1 yards per carry instead of 3.9 this year. That's my hope.
I believe what he's trying to say is he's trying to keep it 100. Trying to keep it 100.
He's keeping it a buck.
So he's able to keep it 100 while asking someone else to do something?
No.
Just with an emoji?
Keep it a buck. He's keeping it a buck.
I'm good on that. Okay. But I think he's personally keeping it 100%?
I think Ryan's right now that I think about this. He is keeping it real with you.
Well, this is incredible.
Yeah, you guys need to keep that same energy. I'm going to keep it real with you.
So he's able to do all of 2 separate things. Asking for everyone else. This is not an internal directive here. This is an external directive. All of you keep your same energy. With a mere emoji, the lens is turned towards him. Here's 100% authenticity.
Yes.
I'm keeping it 100 myself.
I'm going to keep it. I'm keeping you guys honest by keeping me 100 and a buck. Something like that. But so he's motivated. I'll bet he was motivated last year with a new coaching staff. That's the part I never get about this. It's like, y'all pissed off Brian Robinson now.
Okay.
Again, I like Brian Robinson. I think he's a good little football player. I want him on my team. I would just like someone who could hit a home run in the backfield to be my bell cow. And then Robinson comes in and gets the occasional carry. It's not disrespectful. I'm just keeping it a buck myself. He could keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it a buck.
Oh, wow.
I need 4.6 yards per carry, 4.7 yards per carry. Someone who occasionally turns 10 into 30, someone that turns 27 into 77. Like, that's what I'm looking for.